Hello guys and welcome to all those training to become Super Saiyans and welcome to Revolution. So on today's video I'm going to be discussing a theory I have conjured up. Anyway guys, I know that my theories get very good response and you guys like my theories, so at the end of this video I'm going to put up some of my most popular theories just so if you haven't seen any of them you can check them out. Anyway, what this theory about Android 17 entails is to do with his incredible rise in power that saw him be able to compete with a possibly suppressed Goku, but also potentially just Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Now, a lot of the fandom are still in disbelief over his incredible power rise, but as I've said before, these power hacks in Dragon Ball Super are now a good thing, even if sometimes it's at the expense of detailed storytelling, simply because characters besides Goku and Vegeta were becoming incredibly irrelevant. Now, I have been a little surprised at the disbelief that Android could attain so much power, simply because Android 17 and 18 were stronger than what Frieza was in the Namek Saga when the Android Saga first rolled around. Considering that Frieza was stuck in hell for the large part of 10 to 15 years, whereas Android 17 has confirmed that he has been training, I personally believe if you take them from the Namek Saga and the Android Saga and then apply the amount of training they've done over that 15 years, it really isn't a surprise to me that Android 17 would be stronger. Now, I'm not saying he definitely is stronger than Golden Frieza. Frieza is a prodigy after all, but Akira Toriyama has stated quite recently that Android 17 has enormous potential. And in episode 86 of Dragon Ball Super, Dende tells Goku that it would have been terrifying if Android 17 was still a villain. Now, you could make an argument that Dende doesn't know how strong Super Saiyan Blue is as he hasn't witnessed it, but he was there when Goku fought Beerus in Super Saiyan God. And Dende being a god himself, the god of Earth, he has the ability to sense God Ki. So for him to tell Goku that he would be a terrifying prospect speaks volumes about how far Android 17 has come. And just to add to this, at the end of their sparring match, Goku tells Android 17 that he is glad that he is not an enemy. Now, whilst the context of that can be read in quite a few different ways, it at least once again speaks volumes about how powerful Android 17 has become. For example, Kid Buu is incredibly powerful, but in Dragon Ball Super he wouldn't really be a threat to the heroes, as Goku and Vegeta would deal with him in their Super Saiyan Blue forms quite easily. So how exactly has Android 17 gone from basically being decimated by Cell and ultimately absorbed to being on the level of almost Super Saiyan Blue Goku? And my perception is that he is at the level of Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Now the scary thing is he isn't just around that kind of power level. Being an android and the type of android he is, he pretty much has unlimited ki energy. Now this is because, unlike how Screw Attack have once again got something about Dragon Ball wrong by claiming that Android 18 can absorb, Android 17 and 18 are actually cybernetically enhanced humans. And in the Daizenshu 7, it tells us that basically what they are is of the eternal model type. Now, this is basically one energy system that the cyborgs run on. They produce energy internally and are able to remain mobile permanently. Compared to another system, energy absorption model, their power is larger and it is employed by cyborgs 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. So they are separate from the energy absorption models such as Android 19 and 20. And basically they reproduce their own energy. And it was this unlimited power source that basically made Dr. Gero give up on this kind of model because they were too hard to control. Now, what I propose in this theory, and remember guys, this is a theory, so take it with a pinch of salt because it may never transpire. But what I propose is basically, over all these years, by constantly storing ki energy, that over time it increases their capacity to withhold even more energy. So it's basically like your stomach. the more you eat one day, the next day your stomach grows to be able to accommodate even more food. And if you continue this cycle, then eventually you'll become fat, sure, but you'll be able to withhold more food or energy within your stomach. And if this theory was to be correct, where androids could store and then stack energy to increase the capacity of energy they can withhold in their body over a certain amount of time, that android would become incredibly powerful. Now, we also know that stomachs shrink again when you stop feeding it a large quantity of food. But we know over the past around 15 years that Android 17 has been keeping up with his training. So not only would that explain why Android 17 is significantly more powerful than Android 18, who hasn't been doing any training, at least not that we know of, but also the fact that when 17 and 18 were first introduced in the Android saga, they could only expunge a certain degree of power. And by that, what I mean is, if they truly had unlimited power and were able to access all of it without no capacity limits, why couldn't Android 17 destroy Super Namekian and Piccolo, or even Imperfect Cell, in one shot? As Piccolo and Cell at that time definitely had a limit to their power. It suggests that even though the androids have unlimited renewal of their energy, basically they had a capacity at that time. And obviously Android 17 and 18 were different people back then. They basically didn't care about training. They were powerful enough to diminish their enemies at that said time. They simply had no reason to train or look for means to increase their power. So that I theorise, whilst being on this island and protecting this island, that Android 17 has come up with a training method called the store and stack, which ultimately leads to an ever expanding amount of power for the androids as long as they are focused in training and using this method, which over the 15-year period it has been since we last saw him against Perfect Cell, would pretty much make the fact that he has such a huge power surge more reasonable. Now, we know that the humans in this series have pretty much been left behind by the Saiyans in terms of power, and the eternal models of androids don't get Zenkai boosts as the Saiyans do, and can't rely on transformations as Frieza does, or Saiyans once again. So by using this store and stack training method, these cybernetically enhanced humans can continually and eternally grow in power. And just something else to note, that the androids don't have auras. Now, we've learnt in the Dragon Ball Super series, especially with the God transformations, that Whis encourages Goku and Vegeta to keep their energy internal and limit ki leakage. But is it possible that the androids have this system already built within? Dr. Giro was a genius after all. Did he figure out that basically by keeping your energy internal, it increases power? And not only that, he was genius enough to then find a way to make these androids reproduce ki internally. Now, I remember when the Android saga first came around, I found it hard to believe that the androids could top Frieza's power. But if Dr. Giro really conjured up this idea, then that would be a great explanation as to why they could top Super Saiyans. So is this what Akira Toriyama means by Android 17 has enormous potential? It certainly would be a more in-depth explanation to how he's acquired this power than what we have gotten in the series so far. Are these infinite/eternal model types capable of eternal growth, providing they use the right training methods, continuously increasing their capacity for ki output? Anyway guys, that is Android 17's eternal growth theory. And as said earlier, it is just a theory, take it with a pinch of salt. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to link more of my theories, if you like my theories, at the end of this video. And if you like this video, guys, please hit that like button with a big bang attack. And guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. I love reading what you guys think. Do you agree with this theory, or do you have a way to debunk it? I don't mind. Let me know in the comment section. And guys, if you like theories like this, you must subscribe to my channel. I pretty much have a new theory every week. So hit that subscribe button, because when I do release this kind of content, it will come straight to your account as soon as it's released. And with that said and done, I will bring to you my final and most important message. In life, if you stay calm in any vexing situation, you will never, and I mean never, become a Super Saiyan. Okay guys, so on my screen right now are 4 of my most popular theories. They've all gotten great feedback, and if you haven't seen any of them, I highly implore you check them out. Let me know what you think, guys.